So I've been piecing together pieces of my life, and it's just a lot of random stuff that I was remembering from the adults in my life, and just like how I used to think and how I used to maneuver. Like, I legit used to be so scared of God. Like, I just knew I was going to go to hell. I just knew, like, nothing was going to work out for me. Like, I'm like, okay, they say you be disobedient to your parents, that's going to get you to hell. They say you have sex before marriage, that's going to get you to hell. And I wasn't having sex, but my energy was being violated. And I used to always just sit in like the most random places, and I would have all these strange thoughts about like death. I was always like we'll be driving on the freeway, all the kids enjoying themselves. I'm enjoying myself or whatever, but in the back of my mind, I'm just like, damn, if we crash, this down to 10, I'ma die, da 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 da. And I used to think like that, like, I would be walking, I'm like, dang, if I was in that tall building and I fall off the top of the damn building, I would die. Like, I would always be thinking of ways that I would not make it. Like, and I know now because I was cursed. Like, since like birth, that those wasn't my thoughts. That was like people manipulating my energy or attempting to. And I would always have to be like stronger than my thoughts. Like, I would not I would think that, and I'd be like, I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to harm myself. And like, even when people, I did have those moments where people was like knocking me down and then kicking me in my fucking stomach while I'm down. I've had those moments, and I was just like, okay, I wouldn't give nobody the benefit of the doubt to say that I was a quitter, or that they was the reason of my despair, or anybody try to tell my story wrong. So it's just like I used to fight those urges, because I'm just like, if I leave this earth, then nobody's gonna know my side of the story. Like, nobody ever asked me my side of the story, but it's just like, eventually I know I'm supposed to be here, and I'm not going to, if I don't talk about the story while I'm here, I ain't got to worry about clearing it up. This done 10, it don't exist anymore. But I know if I left this world, that all these crazy things and ways people had like wanted me to be, like, they'll throw that out into the world, and they'll like tarnish my image, all this extra stuff. So I used to like sit there, I'm like, okay, I can't let people know that I'm having like all these thoughts, like, because I don't want nobody to think that I'm weak. I don't want to get in trouble. This down to 10, I'm gonna fight for my survival. Like, I know this is just a phase. I don't want to go to hell if I die. Like, if I, did it myself. I used to just have all these thoughts. And this is me, like, but, like, middle school, high school. Like, I had a few bad moments in elementary, but it was more physical than it was, like, in my head. But middle school, it started getting more mental. And I'm just like, okay, so I gotta hide these, I can't let nobody see me fold, because no, all they gonna do is laugh at me. Like, I used to really feel like people don't want to do nothing but laugh at me. And then I had this best friend, I was like, I wouldn't want to leave her and then break her heart. And she be crying and stuff, but she left me and da 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 da. But it's okay, I'm not worried about that. I just remember, like, this one girl, she had passed while we was in middle school, she had got into a road rage incident. Everybody in the school knew this chick, so like they was all emotional and everything. And I didn't know the chick, but I remember thinking, I was like, damn, if this was my best friend, I would lose my mind. But then I started thinking, if I was gone, then my best friend would probably lose their mind. And I'm sitting there crying with all these other people, and I don't even know this girl, but I was just like, okay. I was like, there's some people that want me here, so I'm not going to give those that don't want me here the benefit. So I used to, need to remind you, I'm still in middle school thinking like this. So I'm still trying to figure this shit out. But I'm just like, okay. And it didn't make it no better because when that movie 2012 came out, oh my God. That movie gave me an extreme case of anxiety. Like, I had nightmares about that about that movie, all kinds of if da 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 da. Because one thing that gave me anxiety about that movie is because they didn't show Texas. They didn't show how Texas was gonna get got, and I was like, okay, what the fuck? And then it was like, it won't be any earthquakes, something about the textile plates and all that and shit. That I was like, okay, so if Texas won't have an earthquake, then we're either gonna go underwater or we're gonna fucking volcano gonna do some. I was, oh my God. And then, and then one time I couldn't hide the fact that I was scared of living because it was this one time where it was like a silent storm. So when I say silent storm, I mean like one of those lightning storms, but like it's no rain, no thunder, nothing. It's just like flickering lights in the sky, baby. When I say that shit was going on for hours, I was like, oh my God, it's happening. I was so nervous. Okay, I had tried to go to sleep. I was like, no, I could be tripping this down the time. I woke up in the middle of the night. I happened to look out the window, and I was already nervous because of the lightning. So I had happened to see like this crack on the ground. And I ran to my mama. I was like, was that crack already there? I was like, has that been there? I was like, oh my God. I was like, we about to die. I was like, oh my God, this world is about to go. And I was like, bro, has this crack been there? And I'm sitting here like crying, trying to figure it out, like frantic. And she's like, that crack, you tripping, that's been there. You need to calm down, come in this house, da 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 da. And I'm just like, I'm crying, I'm shaking, I'm still trying to figure it out. I said, you sure that's been there? I pressed on the ground, I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And then I was just like, I don't want to be here for the rapture. I remember thinking like, I don't want to do it myself. I don't want to go by nobody's crazy hands. Just something natural will just take me out, and then the world will be gone. Like that's how I was looking at it. I was like, please, I don't want to see everybody else's pain, and I don't want to go through my own. Just please. Oh my God, I was so scared. Then after that thunderstorm thing, lightning storm thing, it was like maybe a day or two later. It was probably the next day I had went to school, because I had just found out about revelations, but I also had seen that movie And it was like after the movie, I found out about Revelations, and then after I found out about Revelations, it was like Oklahoma had ended up having 13 tornadoes. I'm like, that's not normal. I'm at school. I'm at school the next morning. Me and my friends, we usually walk the track, listen to music, dance a little bit. But me, I got my headphones in. I'm a little quiet. I'm a little emotional. I don't want to be by nobody. But my friends wasn't having that because I am the party. So they like, what's wrong with you? This, that, and 10. And then I had told one of my best friends, and then she kind of wasn't like, you know, she didn't give a damn about everybody else that I called friend. So she wasn't really like, she was like, y'all need to leave her alone type shit. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, don't be so mean. It's okay. And I'm trying to get my shit together because now they all finna argue and da-da-da-da. That finna turn into something. So I'm just like, it's okay. And then I was finally able to speak without crying. Heavens, you can see it fucks me up. But I was just like, damn, like, I don't want y'all to die. I'm like, damn. It was just really traumatic. It was a very traumatizing experience. And I was just like, okay, so it was just me always having like these dumb ways to die type moments. Like, I'm always, no matter what I was doing, I always found a way to pass in that situation. And I'm just like, I'm having all these deaths in my head, and I'm like, everybody around me is real life, living life, enjoying things. I'm like, why can I not have, like, are they thinking how I think? I said, I can't tell nobody this. They gonna think I'm crazy. And then, like, after I had my child, everything was like kind of mellow until it wasn't, because I was still able to hide the stupid mental stuff that I had to ignore in the background. But it's like, now people are physically attacking me, and I may have triggered something, like some kind of curse or thing, from either the first time somebody touched me, I told, and they didn't do nothing about it, or it could have been the time the next person touched me and I didn't tell anybody about it, and I just started, you know what, trying to remove myself from the situation, and then being bullied and stuff about it, because it wasn't adults, it was children. So it's like, oh, you're not my friend, da 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 da. So, you know, I'm getting kind of like counseled out by all these different people, because it's all weird. It just goes every which way. I don't think I was ever supposed to have a chance in y'all eyes, but clearly I somewhere deep in me understood that there will be hard times, but we will get through it. And I did get through it. But I just remember I had to like really be on my P's and Q's, because at one point I was too yappy, too angry, too this, too that, confused. I'm just like, damn, I'm not receiving love. I'm not receiving real hate. Like, people are being fake around me. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. And it was just really, 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 really chaotic. I remember the first time I thought, I was like, well, how can God be one person and watch all of us if it's not like a light or something? This was like middle school. And I'm just like, if he not a light, then how will he be able to get to everybody at one time and watch everybody at one time? So when I had got that thought, I was like, okay, so now I have to figure out a way to stay away from him, because I don't want to go to the bad place. I don't want to be judged or punished for my wrongful doings and things of that nature and all this. I was just like, fuck, I am in a doozy. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do it myself. I don't want to be there for the rapture. I don't want to be punished for things I had no control of. I'm like, how am I going to exist in this world? After I had my child, I was like, okay, I was like, how am I not going to exist in this world? And after I had my child, it was like, okay, I can exist in this world. And like, I started existing more as like a male figure versus as a woman, as a mother, because I was like, all these women around me will be able to do the motherly thing. But if he's not having an active father in his life, because his daddy feel like he could go in and out and move him the way he want, then it's not going to work out. So every time I tried to do what I needed to do as a parent, I would get criticism from my mama or something, and I'm just like, like, why do you think that you can handle me like that? If you feel like I'm not doing something right, then help out. Like, don't tell me I'm being a bad parent, like this, that, and the 10. And it will be small stuff. If I wasn't moving the way she wanted me to move with my child, it was like, you don't care about him, this, that, and the 10, and da-da-da-da-da. And me and her used to always get into it about that, because I'm like, your children are not perfect, and you had 3 opportunities to get it right. So it's just like, she would always be like, I did this 3 times, da 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 da, and I'm just like, I was part of that, and my experience was terrible. So I can't just let you keep acting like you doing what the fuck you, like you on your shit, like your advice matter. And we would always clash, because I'm just like, nothing is ever right for this woman. And then she trying to put me in this hole and all this extra stuff. And then I remember when I found out I was like infertile or whatever, I didn't tell anybody besides the guy that I was dealing with. And somebody was talking about kids. My son, he always randomly, I want you to have another kid. Here she go. You with another kid? No, just talking really bad. And it's just like, you could tell I can't remember this stuff like right directly, because I ignored it. I attempted to ignore it, because it's like, you handling me like a bitch on the street, but I can't give you that same energy, correct? It just never made sense to me. So I just always tried to like push back, because I know how I can get, and so did everybody else. But everybody else clearly wanted me to get that way, because if I'm angry, if I'm giving in to, now I realize that my life is supposed to be at this gray thing, and I'm not supposed to go too far there. I'm not supposed to go too far there. So growing up, I was all the way there. Like, didn't know shit, didn't nothing. Like, I was like the worst type of child to exist. Like, I wasn't a child. I don't know. Like, I was a little person doing school shit, existing with the other little people doing school shit, but mentally, it's like something was triggered, and I was like, I'm a grown up. Like, when I'm old enough, I'll be able to have intercourse, then I'll be able to have my husband, then I'll be able to have children, and you know, I'll have a lot of money, and I'll be singing, and I'll be just living my life, and da 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 da. Nobody ever wanted me to be comfortable with that thought. Nobody ever told me like, "Oh, you sing really good." Da, 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 da. As well, my family, the people, my unit, my family unit, they didn't really root for me. Like, strangers from here and there, they'll tell me, "Oh, you sing really nice." Da 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 da. But it's like they're passing through versus me being with these people all the time, every time. They laughing in my face. They got small jokes and shit behind my back. I remember a lot of my cousins and stuff, they got a nickname, and I remember I end up asking my one of my relatives. I'm not gonna say which one, but I asked them. I was like, "Why I don't have a nickname?" And they was like, "You do." And she never told me the nickname. She just told me I do, laughed, and walked away. And I was just like, okay, that's weird. And yeah, it's just shit like that. And then, like, the way when I had told my mama, she told my grandma that I was pregnant. And then in the midst of her telling, she didn't tell my papa. They was like, okay, well, we gonna let her tell it. So me and my papa, we kind of like fell out after I told him that I was pregnant. But he was the only like male father figure type deal that I had in my life. So I thought. But so whenever I told him and he was like talking really down on me, I had to play it off like he wasn't breaking my heart. But he talking shit, and in my head, I'm like, bro, fuck you, dude. Like, I will really kick you in your knee. Like, but I'm laughing it off. I'm like, yeah, well, things happen. Da, 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 da. He talking shit. He done told me I got a fat ass face. He done told me he knew something was up, and this, that, and the 10, and I done ruined everything for his, because it was my grandma's birthday. And so he called X Bacon. He was like, you done ruined your grandma. He done ruined your nanny bacon time. And this, day, and the 10. I was like, I'm just like chuckling it off. I'm just like, bro, you really hurt my feelings. And yeah, we wasn't really close a lot after that. And then like everybody claim to love my child, so I was just like, well, if they don't love me, that's okay. As long as they do right about my child, I will not shut this motherfucker down. So I used to always, every time a family event come, I gotta work. I'm just like keeping myself busy, like, naturally, so they won't understand it. I just really don't want to be bothered with y'all because I don't trust any of y'all. It's always some funny, laughing, secret stuff when I come around, and it's just like I'm looking at this blue jay, but it's just always some secret shit coming around, and that is not okay. Then they get mad when I'll stop telling y'all don't do nothing but talk about each other. Y'all are weird. Then y'all come in each other's face laughing and hee haw. You ain't gotta do that with me. You don't. I'm ready for friction. I got time for action. I don't care. Like, like, but I wasn't like an asshole about it. I was just like, I will defend myself when the time comes. But I'm not gonna sit here, have these people in my face, treat me how they feel like they want to treat me, and just down the 10. And then it's just like a lot of stuff my grandma them was talking about that that was gonna be passed down to me when I go to finish school and all this extra shit. And so I finished school. I was supposed to get a car. I was supposed to get some money. I ain't getting none of that. Like, after I had my child, like, they basically cut me off type shit. And though they still wanted to be around the baby, it's just, yeah, I'm realizing now, and it's just like destiny breathe, because it's just like all the trickery and all the natural ways that motherfuckers could come in your life and just be putting plans together to ruin it. Because they could have easily been like, okay, well, after she have her first child, if it's underage and this down to 10, then okay, we're gonna sell her off to the highest bidder, because now we know that she is an influence. She is an energy that influences, and also we know that she is influencing wrong. Like, she doing shit she ain't got no business doing, and this will be good for the agenda of those who is good for. So it's just like all of that shit playing a part. And I'm like, okay, so it could have been like after I lost my virginity, or it could have been me after I had my child. But it also could have been right when that first wrong injustice started. That's when the curse was like triggered. The first time a motherfucker put their hands on me, violated me, and nobody believed me. And then it was just like, I was raised by the wolves. I was raised by fuck you guys. But not for real. I made it through though. I made it through. And if I didn't have my child when I had my child, you probably wouldn't have me. So I am always grateful for my child. So I apologize for whatever tragic energies I was throwing out into these worlds, all these taunting energies and things that I had going on. But yeah, I had to break all those curses. I had to flesh out all those demons. I had to exist with the devil. And it was chaotic. It was only chaotic because I love these people. I love people. I love love. So it's like nobody ever wanted me to just like love. Like, they fucking suck. And then at some point in life I started, it was probably about like high school, probably middle school. But I remember thinking like, I'm not related to these people. All these people do is they talk about people, they're mean to people. I'm not like these people. How could I be related to these people? And I remember I used to always just joke around, tell people I'm adopted. They'd be like, and it was I would be so existent in my own world. It'll be so funny when I pop out like on a random occasion with my brother or my sister, or I'll bring up my brother or my sister. They be like, oh, you have siblings? Yeah. Yeah. But I used to mostly claim that I was adopted because I'm just like, how? Like, me belonging to these terrible people, like, how? It didn't make no sense to me. Then they talking about, oh, you look like your mom. Where? You look like who? I don't look like you people. I don't act like you people. So what's up? I know at one point I picked up a little weight and it was like, oh, you looking like it. I do not look like that woman. I'd probably be a little bit bad built and out of shape now because I done drunk my sorrows away. But in default mode, I don't look like these folk. I don't look like anybody I know. Like, I used to randomly find people that exist in life that look like me, and I would have them like be my twin. Like, I had this one twin, her name was Alexis. I had this one twin, her name was Victoria. And then at one point, I thought I looked like Chloe and Halle Bailey. And I ain't the only one that think that. So it's just like, I have all these splattered twins existing in this world. And I'm like, damn, I just want a big old family, big old sisterhood, big old love. There's just a lot of shit that's, I be trying to put pieces of my life together. And I know I'm not crazy, but the way shit be sounding to others, those that don't understand and those that don't want to see me do well, they can easily say, damn, this bitch is tripping. She don't need anything, any leadership, any money, any friends or nothing. Like, her head is wild. Like, what is she doing with that thing? And personally, I don't know. It's like a revolving file of movies and experiences, dreams, memories. Excuse me. It's like no reason for me to exist through all this chaos. Continue to exist through all this chaos. Because I understand now. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with this understanding besides discussing it, because I'm probably not the only one that went through this shit. But I'm also just thinking about, like, how I trusted these people, how I love these people. And one thought crossed my mind that my grandma, she recorded me like giving birth and things. Like, what if they use that type of shit to put curses on my child, or on me having children? Like, what if they did use that like that? And then it's this other thought. It's like the fact that she, she was like, she made a joke, I'm not going to approve of the baby, I'm not going to approve of him if he don't have my name in there somewhere. So one of his middle names is her first name spelled backwards. And I'm just like, when I first realized that was witchcraft, I was like, damn, bro, I done fucked my child over, fooling with these people, thinking I'm all protected and safe and this, that, and man, I knew these motherfuckers weren't shit. And that was me being stupid and sensitive. I don't like that. But I promise you, I literally, now that I know everything that I know, or I assume everything that I know, I work hard to right my wrongs. Like, every day is a life lesson. My son, he be getting annoyed with me sometimes, and I have to stop doing that because I know this isn't his fault. But like last night, my brother was discussing the football game, and it was this little girl that played on the football team, and the little girl was big and this, that, and the fifth, and they had a whole brawl out there, like the adults and stuff, the kids, like they was at the football game acting up. So he telling the story, but he still he referring to this little girl as a bitch and this, that, and the ten. I'm like, I told my son, I say, Tavares, I just want you to know that you're not supposed to refer to little girls or grown women as that, this, that, and the ten. And he got upset with me. He was like, bro, why would you just say that? That was so random. And I had to explain to him, because yo, football coach, because you look up to him so fucking, I guess the way boys look up to male figures. That's how he look up to him. So I'm just like, you don't listen to things I say, but I know you listen to things that he say. So the fact that he's sitting here calling this little girl a B word, I don't want you to think that that's how you supposed to talk about any girl, any woman. I was like, because this is a role model in your life, and he's setting the tone for how you may speak or exist, and he's not doing a very good job. So it's just like, that's the type of shit I gotta deal with. That's the type of shit I gotta sit past. And it's like, I try not to put people business out. I just try to exist doing my own shit. Maneuver. If you could still do your fuckery and I could, slide by in the corner, do my fucking thing. But sometimes I have to knock walls down to go to the next level. And I feel like this is one of those big ass walls I gotta knock down, because somebody really attempted some fugazi shit on my life, and probably still is attempting. Until my last breath, they'll probably still attempt. But I ain't taking that no time soon, pimp. So so I call all my energy back from all you whacks. Lames, you should be ashamed, because you play with me, you're gonna realize it wasn't a game. I am abundant. I am at peace. I am loved. I am all that I need. But yeah, I'm just washing all this bullshit out. Wash my sins away. I also used to have this really backwards thinking of, if I committed more sins, that God would eventually not see me, would eventually leave me alone, and I would just have a slow death from, I really thought I was gonna die from an STD or something. I was not prepared to be as old as I am, doing what I'm doing, speaking the way I speak. I had no expectations for my life. Heavens. But I did. I just had to find it. I had to listen. Had to be obedient. Had to switch the course. Because I wasn't on my own course. I was on somebody else's. And every time I thought I was getting up in life, it was through, I would say it was through the world. It wasn't through my connection with God, my connection with Source. I also realized that I was really childish, and I named the God that I serve the Source of creation. I gave them their own name because I know that everybody else have all these religious names for their source of creation, and I'm just like, okay, well, all y'all are divided. So in my world, G-Man is Papa of Divine. Lady Love is Mother of Divine. So that was able to personalize my relationship with them because I'm just like, whenever I call these names, they'll know, oh, that's Destiny. Let me tune in. So, yeah, I gave them their own name. And I also used to scream out, Yeshua! Every time I would feel discouraged, I'd be like, Yeshua! Like, he'll come, energy come to my rescue of that love, that enlightenment. And I'm just like, thank you. Thank you, cuz. But I really had to play around with all this shit to figure out what worked for me. I had to right my wrongs, fix my course in life. It's just like, what, redirect myself. I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. Because I really thought I wasn't doing shit. But the fact that it kept attempting to get harder and harder, it mean I was doing exactly what I was supposed to be doing. And me being so nonchalant and so determined, I'm like, man, this shit ain't hard. This is just something I gotta fucking get over. So I'm like eating up the fact that a lot of people not going to get over this part in life. And I'm just like, bro, I just gotta get over this shit. I'm already who I'm supposed to be. I just gotta get over this shit. And if I continue to keep getting over this shit, I'm going to continue to keep getting all this power, and I'm going to continue to keep, like, leveling up. Like, every time I handle a new problem, it's like level up. Level 144 at this point. But it is time for me to stop working alone. Take my seat at my throne. Because in life, I always right my wrongs. But yeah, not just a lot of random things that may have forced my my demise, but didn't realize that everything was being put in place for my success, for my empowerment, for my knowledge. Because if you want to know everything, you probably would have to experience and relate to those experiences and those people that go through it or that have went through it. So yeah, I literally, I heard Charlamagne the guy, he said it's not a stereotype if it's right, or if you did it, or if you do it, or something like that. But literally, I feel like I've hit like every stereotype in existence for a black woman. And yeah, the only thing I didn't do is scheme and kill somebody, and I'm okay with that. That's not nothing I would ever want to do. It's not a way I would ever see myself living life. I've got scammed before out of money. I've got kicked out of places. I've fought men and women. I've made dumb decisions. Got burned by dumb men. The good thing it wasn't anything permanent. And I've been a fake friend. I've been too loyal of a friend. I've I had no father growing up, and the mother I had, me and her clashed like ash. Um, of course, I was like, they would call a raging lunatic, but I would call impulsively, I'm ready to protect myself because the person that you was dealing with, she was a little scared to, boost her, speak on what the fuck y'all gotta, what the fuck is happening to her. So when I did like lash out at people, it'll be after my skin done shook and I'm sitting here listening to you yell at me, not make sense, and you blaming me for your actions. uh-uh I gotta defend myself. And sometimes when I have to defend myself and I don't want to defend myself, it'll come out like I'm yelling at you because I'm really trying to get this shit out quick because it's irritating my skin and my spirit for me to have to handle you this way. So if I do have to fight sometimes because of my words, I will knock your asshole. But that is never my intentions. So it's just like, obstacles. That's all that shit is. Obstacles.